Hello, world. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, good morning.
The first topic of tonight is Poker Bros app being removed. Let's just first go over what are these apps and how do they work. So we can actually use Maureen as an example because she lives in a she lives in a country that online poker is not legal. Maureen wants to play with her friends online, but it's not legal in her country or it's not legal in the US. So she comes up with the idea to host the games on one of these apps, and they're play money apps. They're for not for real money. There's a few of these apps, like Poker Bros is one of these apps. U Poker is one of these apps. PPP, I don't know if they're still around, but they were one of these
Oh,
apps.
yeah, they're
They're
still
still around.
around.
And she now gets all of her friends together and she starts a club where they can play against each other for real money or for not real money, but mostly people don't want to play poker not for real money because it doesn't work. There's no reason not to go all in every hand. So Maureen arranges that and she takes care of all the financing. She collects the money, does all the payouts, and now we've turned an play money app into a real money app.
In its truest form, it is possible to play poker for play money on these apps in the US with no problems.
Yeah, exactly. Although their entire business model is honestly based on agents and their marketing scheme, it seems like it's really designed around getting agents. I actually, on my research for this, I found out there's more players playing on these apps than there are on PokerStars. Um, so they were removed from the App Store. Poker Bros specifically was, but only in the US. Now, right now, we're all just speculating as what that could mean. On their tweet, they said that it's going to be it's temporary. Some of the people thought that it was to do with the fact that it's been being used for online gambling. But another thought was that you can actually purchase diamonds to play in these games, and there's a workaround that they're advertising where you don't buy diamonds through the Apple Store. You instead buy them through their site directly, and Apple had shut down Fortnite last week for doing that exact thing, allowing transactions not through the App Store but through their own site.
As you described, maybe we're all overreacting. Maybe it's just, because they started to charge through their own site and not through the Apple Store. So maybe this is nothing. But I think it's always a good reminder just to remind players that if you are playing on unregulated sites, that there are risks associated with that.
So Benjamin Esfandiari is Antonio Esfandari's father. And on July 14th, they called the police to report that their valuables had been missing from their home safe. So in the Panorama Towers, they're out of the safe. And the things that they were missing, $150,000 cash, 300 to $500,000 in poker chips, his one drop platinum bracelet, and four watches. And like the one thing that we're all like, wait, what? Was a gold suitcase, a gold carry on suitcase. Now, that was in July. And then this week, this woman was arrested for it. Svetlana Sylvia, and she was a former poker dealer, and she's accused of robbing them for over $1 million in cash and jewelry. Now, how they connected it to allegedly being her, which I just think is so funny, is she started playing poker in Vegas at a private game, and then she went broke all these times. Then she came back and returned to the poker game and pulled out $100,000 in Aria chips and lost, and then pulled out another 200,000 in Bellagio chips And then she finally won and cashed out. I don't know how much she cashed out for because that wasn't in the report, but I'm interested to know that. And then she left, and then she texted one of the players in the game and said, I need to buy back the Aria chips because they won't be able to cash them in because they're tagged. When you have those cranberry chips, the 25Ks or the flags 5K chips or the 100K chips, the casino tracks where they are, so they know who they gave them to. Someone off the street just can't go cash in one of these chips. It doesn't work like that. The reason she was able to get access to the code was because she was staying with his father in the past and had used the computer and iPad, which had a similar 4-digit number, which I'm guessing is the birth date because it was just in a different order. All of that I have to say allegedly. Her story is that, yeah, she was at the apartment, and then she saw a random guy with the suitcase going down the elevators, and she didn't tell anyone.
I don't know. I just don't buy it. I don't know.
Really? Why not? I don't understand you
Sorry,
having
I'm
a
tough,
problem
I'm
for
tough.
that story and not telling anyone. Oh, I saw someone with your gold suitcase and like coming out of your apartment, but I just thought, whatever. Like, okay, let's move on to the World Series of Poker main event.
So what I did was try to highlight what happened leading up to the main event days. And the first tweet that really caught my eye was Phil Hellmuth. So Phil Hellmuth, he tweeted, "Thanks for loaning me your plane, Randall Emmett. Nice G4. Bay Area to Cabo to play the WSOP tourneys on GG Official through September 6th." So I just thought that was hysterical because we all know Randall Emmett, right, from last year with the 50 Cent scandal.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was hysterical. And poor Phil Hellmuth, I mean, he was telling us all, he's in this beautiful villa with this infinity pool, but he had no internet. So the GG kept on crashing. And then in the end, he couldn't fire the third bullet. And then actually, they had to cut the stream short. Then I come across this on Twitch that Daniel is firing his final bullet of the main. And remember, you could only fire 3 bullets in total. So then I'm like, wait a second, why is he on Twitch? He was on the GG Poker official channel playing. So I honestly don't know how he got around the ban.
Yeah. So Discord told us that that's definitely against terms and conditions to have someone that's banned streamed on your channel, but how would they know? Because unless someone actually reported it, they wouldn't know. But I'm surprised that GG would risk that.
So in the second to last flight, I actually went into the GG lobby, and at that time, I took the screenshot of this overlay. So in level 7 of Flight W, they had a $1.5 million overlay, which would have been about 310 players. Wound up with a total prize pool of 27.559500 million, and then 728 players would be paid, and the min cash being 11,834. So basically, for the bubble of the main event, it was aces cracked by kings to lead everyone into the money. And then a player called Gonzalez was the official first player to cash after the bubble had bursted. I'm like, classroom. What flag is this? So anyway, so down under in Australia, we announced last week that the Australian Poker Tour, APT, did announce dates for October. So they are going to Brisbane, Eastern Hills from October 7th to 11th. So the schedule actually looks pretty good. The one thing that stood out to me is that there are caps on the events. So for example, Wednesday, October 7th, 1 p.m., they have the opening event. It's Flight A. It's a 2-day event. An estimated 15,000 Australian dollar prize pool, 1 re-entry per player, and then we see the cap at 150 players.
Yeah.
This flag, red and white with the cross, is Malta. Okay, So big news out of Malta. So the first event, the Battle of Malta. So it's one of the biggest tournaments in Europe. And this year they did announce that they're canceling the live version, but promise to have an online replacement. So details of the online replacement are to be announced. And unfortunately, they also made the announcement their third edition of Malta's Poker Festival for 2020 has been canceled.
Finally, we have news from the US of A.
So the Mid-States Poker Tour did start up again. And again, they had record-breaking numbers for being in a pandemic. They had a 1,100 buy-in, 150,000 guaranteed main event. And basically, the article in Poker News is saying crush the guarantee is an understatement. They actually wound up with 518 entries and became the largest major tournament in Iowa history.
And that's a good indication that people are wanting to play.
So basically, in the state of California, on July 13th, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, he sent out this tweet. California is now closing indoor operations statewide for restaurants, wineries, movie theaters, zoos, museums, and car rooms. Bars must close all operations. Lake Elsinore Casino, they were one of the first ones to announce, okay, we're opening this weekend. Poker tables are open, table games are open. And then these pictures started cropping up on Instagram showing the outdoor, like wedding style tents with the lights, with the outdoor gaming. And you can see, okay, yeah, so that's Stones, that one picture. And then the next picture should be Elsinore, Lake Elsinore. So basically, there's no walls at Lake Elsinore. It's basically open to the outside. So this is how they're able to offer table gaming and poker. Now, Stone's Gambling Hall is doing the same thing. They're offering the outdoor gaming, and that's the picture on the left side of your screen.
Yeah, I mean, this one is beautiful, the Stones, but it's indoors. Like, that's not outdoors. You've got like one little, it's literally a building with the door open. One, two, three, bye.
Bye.
Thanks again, guys.
Twitch chat made me do it!